let's see. Just waiting for that one to come up and populate. Yeah, sure. Why not? All right, so I tagged myself in the video. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to November's Health Talk with the Mods. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing well. How are you doing?
I am tired, but I am here. It was a long day.
Yeah, some days are like that.
Yep, had an emergency come up, but we're here.
We're here, and we just want to hang out with you guys and do what we normally do, is continue to talk health and wellness and how we can continue to support our bodies, our systems, stay above the wellness line. So we see people are popping in and joining us. Feel free to chime in where you're from and say hello while we get started. Feel free to post any questions or comments, and we'll go back and look at them at the end after we've gone through the information. We do love you guys, but I'm sorry I get extremely distracted by the comments when we're trying to do these, so I'm going to swipe those away for now. But yeah, so let's get started. So we're talking gut health, and this was something that I mentioned to Dana that was important to me because it was something I think was starting to really become an issue. Mm-hmm. And when I was doing the research for this, I didn't realize there are a lot of ways that not having proper gut health can affect the body, and not necessarily just as far as like your weight and how your stomach feels, but it affects so much more within the body.
Yeah, that was interesting to me too, because I feel like sometimes when we think of the gut or we think the digestive system, we just think, oh, we put it in our mouth, it goes through the esophagus, goes in the stomach, and it comes out, right? But we don't realize a lot of what it's connected to and the other systems that are affected by not having a healthy gut, and certain things and habits that we might have adopted in childhood that later manifest into other illnesses or other things because we don't have a healthy gut.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I mean, and how to support like your microbiome system. So to get a little technical for a second, when we talk about your microbiome, that is within your gut, the environment that healthy and some unhealthy bacteria lives in. There's usually anywhere from 300 to 500 different species of bacteria that live within your gut. And so we're going to talk a little bit about why it's important to support that. And usually there'll be signs that your gut is having some issues, and that will display itself or manifest itself in physical ways as well. So I want to talk about 7 ways that we can tell usually if there's an issue going on with your gut. Then we'll talk about how we can support a healthy gut, some of the things to eat, some of the things to look out for, and then we'll go back and answer you guys' questions. So let's start with number 1. I mean, I think this is probably one of the more obvious ones. Like usually if you're having an issue with your gut or your digestive system, you're going to have an upset stomach. Mm-hmm. That's going to be like your first sign that something is going on. And it may be when you're eating certain foods, or you may just feel discomfort all the time. You know, that might be one of the signs usually, but that's probably one that we don't pay a ton of. I'm going to mute that for a second. That we don't pay a ton of attention to, and that's mainly just because it's probably so common. But the other thing is, considering the way that our food is set up here in America. I forgot you have a slider here. Oh, okay, got it. But considering the way that our diet is here in America, a lot of the foods that we eat is processed or full of sugar, especially high fructose corn syrup, which can affect the body in negative ways. So usually that's going to be your first sign that something's going on, is your stomach will be upset. Which leads me to the next one. High sugar diet. So I mentioned that we typically eat a lot of processed foods here in America. But some of the effects of that is it causes inflammation within the stomach, or with not the stomach, well within your digestive system. So by having that,
and I was just going to add to that because that's a huge one too. So inflammation in general. So a lot of times that can be a huge sign if you're having other illnesses or other issues on in your body, especially if they're linked to inflammation. More than likely, you have a gut issue. More than likely, you need to start in the gut. Right? So even if it's something chronic, even if it's something, and your doctor's, telling you or prescribing things and it's like, oh, you have inflammation of this or inflammation of that. A key word to look for is itis. If they put the word itis at the end of it, that means inflammation, right? So it can be inflammation of the, I don't know, whatever organ or whatnot. So again, that's a good indication that you need to do a little focus on that gut.
Yeah. So yeah, you covered it. I'm sorry. I was going somewhere with that, and then I decided not to drive that car off. All right. So the next one is undesired weight change, and so sometimes we think that we're just putting on weight, but it may be that you're losing weight too, and that's not what you're desiring to have happen. So unexpected or undesired weight change is usually a sign that there's something going on with your gut as well, and that may be something that you want to address. I know this one was a huge one for me, is sleep disturbance. So we've talked about, I think we've done a couple of health talk with the Motts in the past where we've talked about having a healthy sleep schedule. Like I still struggle with like sleeping through the night. And I don't know if it's because we have a son who sleepwalks sometimes. But it's been researched that usually if you have something going on with your gut for a prolonged period of time, it could possibly lead to insomnia. And so if you're having a hard time sleeping or staying asleep, you may want to start with the gut. It was also mentioned that a good majority of your serotonin levels are actually produced within the gut.
Yep.
So I mean, you're going to see those displayed. Maybe you're having trouble sleeping, or maybe you may be feeling down a lot more or struggling with quote unquote depression. That may be linked to your body not producing enough serotonin. And if that's the case, you may want to start looking at your gut and seeing, and of course, refer to your professional. I mean, we don't diagnose anything. We're not doctors, but this information is to put out there and help you guys.
But definitely mood ups and downs is something probably going on with your gut. Like that's a clear sign because like he said, like you're not producing that, and all of that again stems from the gut.
Yeah. So another one is skin irritation. It's said that eczema is a big one. And I know sometimes you have this issue. So sometimes you'll eat certain things and you'll break out in little rashes or something like that, especially on your arms.
Yes.
And I thought that was like the weirdest thing. And I did not know that was actually connected straight to your gut. So that was like a reaction, like a food or something that didn't agree with you. That's how it would display itself and manifest itself.
Yeah. And I know my eyes were really open too, because with our son, when he was a baby, he had really, really bad dry patches and things like that. And the very first thing that was suggested to me is change your diet. He was breastfeeding at the time, but it was like change your diet. Because if he's having these flare-ups, having these skin irritations, it is because something's going on with his gut. So as soon as we changed that and we're able to heal that, they immediately went away, which was contrary to what like his physician was saying. It was like, oh, just put some hydrocortisone in it. That's just how it is. That's how he's going to be or whatnot. But start with the gut. If you're having skin problems, skin irritation, start with the gut. Again, it's all connected.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I'll move on to the next one. A lot of immune conditions stem from having an unhealthy gut. So there's talks that some autoimmune conditions or diseases have been linked to having gut issues. But we've talked about it before that a lot of your immune system is built up starting within the gut. Stop reading the comments. We'll go back. But it's linked to having an unhealthy gut. And so I know for me, this was personal because for people who knew me ever since I was a kid, like I was a very sickly child, and I would get antibiotics all the time. And, you know, not saying that you shouldn't take antibiotics if your doctor feels that you need it, but realize that an antibiotic is exactly that. Like, it's going to kill good and bad bacteria within your gut. And so it is something that you just have to be aware of, because later on in life, if your body is not able to produce the healthy bacteria to help you develop a healthier immune system, then you're going to struggle and have problems. It's interesting that, you know, especially here in this country and the way that modern medicine has become, it's let's give you an antibiotic for everything, even though you may or may not need it.
Yeah, and the reality, in the beginning, antibiotics were supposed to be an extreme case rarely given, right? It wasn't supposed to be something that was you're dependent on for function. And same thing with him when I was a child. I remember like clockwork, each year I'd get strep throat. Each year I'd get strep throat like clockwork, and then I'd get antibiotics, and then get strep throat, then antibiotics, right? But what happened over time is my body wasn't able to build up that good bacteria to be able to fight off things. And so then even with a common cold or even other sicknesses, when I caught it, I was out for the count because my body didn't have what it needed to fight those things off.
And we know it's terrible sometimes being sick, but I mean, your body is equipped with what it needs to fight off a lot of illnesses. And so when you're thinking about having a healthy gut, if you don't have to take something that may kill the bad and the good and the bad bacteria within your body, you know, maybe think twice about it. So just a word of advice. And then lastly, food intolerance. So there may be certain foods that you just cannot have at all in your systems. Like, no, this is not for us. And it's interesting that for some people, sometimes it's live foods because your body may not be used to it, or it just may reject it. But usually that's a sign that something's going on with your gut, especially if it's something like live foods. You know, like that was live foods your body should be able to take, that's nourishment for it. And so if it's rejecting some of those things, definitely may want to give your gut some attention. So let's talk a little bit about things that we can do to help our gut and have a healthy gut system, some changes that we can make to support our digestive tract, so that, you know, we stay above the wellness line, we feel better, and just are all around just better. And I think the biggest one, we've talked about it before, is lower your stress levels. Life, we get it, life is very, very stressful, especially in this day and age. It seems like everybody is stressed out. But stress has a very negative effect on the body, physically, mentally, emotionally. So if you have like something that's seriously stressing you out all the time, see what stressors you can eliminate by all means, because a lot of times it will display itself by negatively affecting the gut as well. Some people say sometimes like they can feel stress within their stomach. I mean, that's part of it as well. So definitely try to lower your stress. Another one is try to get enough hours of sleep. So 7 to 8 hours, if you're like within our age range, I think that's anywhere from, I believe it's 28 all the way up to like your early 50s. You should be getting 7 to 8 out, not 78, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I know people would love to get 78 hours of sleep. That's probably how we feel right now, right?
I was like, babe, can I just sleep for 2 days? Like, just 2 days.
That's all you need. But yeah, 7 to 8. Obviously, kids need a lot more, and it's actually interesting. The older you get, you need less. I remember when I worked at the hospital, most of our older patients, they only needed like 5 to 6. So like I would always be like, why are you up? Like it's 4 in the morning. Like, why are you up? Oh, I gotta get the day started. So make sure you're getting the proper amount of sleep. Remember that when you're sleeping, that's when that healthy bacteria is growing within your body anyway. So think of it from this aspect. If you're not getting enough sleep, then your body does not have the time and the resources to rebuild the things that it needs to.
Right, and remember we talked about before with the Chinese body clock, right? So it has different cleansing properties at different times with your different organs. So again, it's crucial that you are asleep so that that body can actually go through its full cycle.
Yeah. So next thing you want to do, eat slowly and eat delicious meals. And the reason I put those together is like, I know sometimes like we get super excited, or maybe because we have a fast-paced life, we're always eating on the go, chomping on something. But your body needs time to digest and to be able to absorb the nutrients from it. So eat slowly, like slow down a little bit. Give your body that time to adjust, so that your body can actually digest the food properly the way it should. As you guys just saw, stay hydrated. So all the time we talk about lots and lots of water. I believe it's half your body weight plus 20 ounces at least.
Yeah, half your body weight in ounces plus 20 ounces.
Yeah, I mean, so don't drink, pounds of water. But yeah, making sure you're staying hydrated. Preferably water. Water is going to be the most beneficial.
Water is water, so not water that comes in pop or water that's in my coffee. Water is water.
Right. So definitely stay hydrated. I know this one here was not a newer one for me, but one I didn't take more serious until more recently, is taking prebiotics and probiotics. So for those who don't know the difference between a prebiotic and a probiotic, if I have this correct, let me see if I can remember. So your prebiotic helps you to develop healthy bacteria, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but it encourages the body to develop new healthy bacteria, whereas a probiotic feeds the good bacteria within your body. So taking a probiotic is going to help support gut health. I know one of the ones that I really like and I take regularly is Young Living's Life 9 probiotic, because it has 17 billion active cultures within it and 9 different strains of bacteria. So I've been able to notice quite a change just by taking a probiotic, and that's something I've never done before in my entire life. And I know you've been trying to get me to take probiotics for years. We were giving patients like probiotics, and I'm like, I don't need it. But I stress, especially if going back to talking about like antibiotics, I mean, if you've had exposure to a ton of antibiotics, you need to rebuild that healthy bacteria within your body. So take a prebiotic/probiotic.
I'd also, just to add to that, some other honorable mentions, if you're familiar with Young Living supplement, Master Formula. So those have some prebiotic in it that, again, the prebiotic is going to help those probiotics operate a little bit better as well. Also, Nija Red has some prebiotics in it too. So those are also ones that you want to take on a daily basis, again, to kind of feed everything.
Absolutely. And then the last change, I think this is probably the one that people start with, and it's probably the hardest to implement, is change your diet. And we're not talking about like the diet you've been doing for like 30 days.
Right.
We're talking lifestyle diet. And so, I know that Dana's gone more plant-based, and therefore, as a result, we have gone to more plant-based eating. And not saying that has to be the case for everybody, but try to have balance. Dairy tends to cause a lot of inflammation within your gut, so try to limit that. Fatty meats tend to cause a lot of inflammation within the gut. So having a balance in your diet is going to make significant changes as well. Remember we talked about that discomfort and what inflammation in the gut can lead to. So just, try to eat some live foods every once in a while. Some of the ones that I wrote down, and I think we've talked about them before, beans, anything high in fiber, are a good example. Surprisingly, bananas was on that list. Like, bananas are really supposed to be really, really good for gut health and helping to, like, they're classified as a semi-probiotic. Bananas are. Did not know that. Garlic and onions, believe it or not.
Ooh,
I know
yummy.
you love lots of garlic. But garlic is very, very good for your gut health, so supporting healthy gut health. Another one is fermented foods. So, like, you drink what every single day?
Every day I drink my kombucha. Yep. Like, I got a factory going on over there in the kitchen. If anybody needs some SCOBY, let me know. I'd be more than happy to get it to you. I got babies growing all over the place. But yeah, I drink kombucha every single day. I love flavoring my kombucha. It's also good.
Yeah. And so, and then the caveat that I'll put to that is when you're doing fermented foods, stuff like kombucha, kombucha has popped up in grocery stores a lot more often now. But I think of like things like kimchi, sauerkraut, and you want the stuff that has to be refrigerated. So if you can't find it in the not frozen foods, but in the cold section of the grocery store, if it's sitting on the shelf and it's like canned, that's not the stuff you want. It's not going to have the bacteria that you need. It's been processed too much to the extent where it doesn't have what you're looking for. Unless you just really love, like if you're like me, I love sauerkraut. I love kimchi. If you just want it for the taste, that's fine too. But if you want it for the gut health benefits, you want the stuff that's refrigerated. In fact, most probiotics or healthy bacteria, they need to be refrigerated.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of that stuff, again, is just as simple to make as well.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly, collagen boosting foods. So that's things such as mushrooms, certain fatty fishes like salmon was on the list. So like, remember we talked about going back and looking at your diet? Having a balance to your diet is important, but feel free to look those up, what collagen boosting foods are. Because they're going to be very, very beneficial for supporting gut health as well.
I would also add bone broth. Look into
that was on there too.
Some of the benefits of bone broth. Again, when it comes to that healthy gut.
So that's what I had. Let's go back and look at the questions and comments. How do I bring you guys back? There we go. Alrighty. Hello. 78 hours of sleep, so those are populated. Okay, so here's one question that we had from Instagram. Let's start there while those are loading. It says, so what do you think, should there be a combination of methods used? I keep hearing opinions about which comes first, eating raw, fully detox, or enemas. So that's an interesting question.
Well, I would say actually, for me personally, I would definitely say detox first. Because, again, we want to, like, it doesn't make sense to take, like, let's say you have pipes or something like that, and then you're putting all these good oil on the pipe, but if it's all clogged up with junk that's been sitting there for a long time, we want to flush all of that out first. So I would say, like, either detox or, like, a cleanse. I really would say cleanse and pull all of that through first, and then start with raw, because I would say going raw, one of the benefits of going raw is really going to be beneficial when it comes to now populating everything and starting anew, so it's not feeding on all that sugar that was back in there and all that other stuff. So I would definitely say cleanse, detox first, raw, and then build from there.
Yeah, good suggestion. And remember, so you said cleanse, detox, and then raw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember that's a change in lifestyle. Is consciously saying in your mind, like, I'm going to obligate myself to eating more raw fruits and vegetables. Because the cleanses and the detoxes, they're only good until the next time that you fill your system with trash, if to put it candidly, so you have to make those changes, because I feel like it's kind of like, if you have problems with your plumbing at home, like,
okay, that's
you'll
a better
call
when I was talking pipes.
Like, you'll call the plumber will come snake the drains, and then hopefully you don't put the same garbage down there that was clogging up the drains before. You have to make those changes to really start to see benefits, and this is something that's over time. So like I said, it really is about lifestyle. We had another question from Facebook. We will try to answer that offline because I cannot answer that in a compliant way. Like I said, I am not a doctor nor a medical professional. We are presenting this information for you guys' benefits, but that sounds like maybe something you should speak to your doctor about. Let's see. Do we have anything else? Everybody wants 78 hours of sleep. Oh my goodness. If I could get 78 hours of sleep, do you know what kind of person I would be?
So I will say, I just want to add a few things in general. So we do have quite a few things coming up this month. So I did want to, we are doing an online class where we're going to talk about getting the most out of your workout. So while we're talking about all things wellness, the healthy gut, things like that, movement is so important, right? So we will be doing that class. It'll be online, so open to everyone. We hope everyone will join us, so we can just give some little tidbits on working out and being able to maximize your workout as well. Yeah, so I wanted to just add that in there.
We're going to get you guys prepped for the new year. We know
Yes.
everybody's,
Yes.
at that time, they're like, yeah, I'm going to get in shape.
And here's the reality, right? The holidays and stuff are coming up, and so you're going to be making some choices that aren't the greatest, right? So now's the time to kind of start implementing some of those things, start to kind of prep your body or whatnot, and then you have some of the great tools in your arsenal. That day you eat something that you really shouldn't, and then now you have to build back up your gut. And we also will, the 1st of January, we're going to be doing a cleanse. So that would be awesome reset for after the holidays. And if you're trying to really get your gut health in order. So we will be doing a cleanse. So it'll be a cleanse challenge, and we invite everybody to join us for that as well.
So we're looking forward to that. So I guess that pretty much covers
That's it, guys.
So once again, I mean, we are very appreciative of everybody who tunes in live, that gives us, you guys, feedback, questions, comments, concerns, or what have you. We try to bring content to you guys that you find of value. So once again, we ask if there's anything that you would like us to cover, feel free to comment below. But I mean, thank you guys just for giving us your time and attention. And let's see here.
Yep, and share, like, again, comment. That helps us build our little tribe here. All the replays are uploaded on our YouTube. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and turn on those notifications. It's DNA Wellness.
DNA Wellness. You see what we did there?
Yeah, I like that. Hey.
Okay.
Okay, bye, guys.
Well, thank you guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Till then, peace.